Hey everyone, this is Dustin here with you for another PosiRank Labs update. Today's date is July 29th, 2014. Here's what we're going to be covering in this week's video. First up, we've got our SEO News Minute. There is a ton going on in local search right now, major changes, and it all basically started with Yelp complaining to Google. The end result of that was what's now being called the Pigeon Update. I'm going to tell you all about it in just a second. After that, we've got our showcase update. Our microsite, which we showed you guys last week, is making progress, but there is a tiny, slight snag in the process. I'm going to show you what that is and exactly how to fix it if this ever happens to you. And we're going to take a look at the key takeaways here, what you can take away from all this and how it's going to make you a better SEO. And finally, last but certainly not least, this week we've got a special guest presenter. We're going to go behind the scenes for a live VRE campaign, and it's going to be fantastic. You're not going to want to miss it. Alright guys, first our SEO News Minute. Local is evolving. Okay, there's been a major update that's shaking up the locally driven SERPs. It's being called the Pigeon Update. How Pigeon started. So, as I mentioned a second ago, Yelp made a big stink about how Google is showing their own results above Yelp's, even though the search included the term Yelp within it. Google wasn't playing fair, but do they ever really play fair is a bigger question. However, Google stepped up and did something about it. Enter the Pigeon Update. After the update, there's a large number of searches that no longer include the local listings pack. You know, the local results that had the little map icons next to them that were basically Google Places driven or Google Small Business or whatever that's called today. According to the SERP feature graph by Mozcast, this number of local listing pack results has dropped from 12.1% of all searches on July 23rd to 3.3% on July 27th. Many verticals are seeing this change. Okay, that's an absolutely massive change in how the local search results are being displayed. If you were counting on your Google Places listing for local traffic, you probably saw a major drop in leads over the last few days. The bottom line here is SEO is a zero-sum game when it comes to updates. There's going to be some winners and there's going to be just as many losers. So if you've spent time getting your site ranked locally, then you may have actually come out ahead of the game here. If not, it's time to get to work. Alright, so here's our showcase update for the week. We're off to a really good start, kind of. Our expertly built microsite, which was hand-built by me, has been indexed. Almost as soon as it was published, we saw URLs being indexed, so that's a really good sign. But as I mentioned, there's a very small problem. The site was indexed fully, however, some of the URLs that were published were eventually changed, again by me. That has led to two URLs being indexed for the same page. Despite the fact that these URLs lead to 404s, we've got a small situation on our hands. So we're going to take a look here. I'm going to show you exactly what the URLs look like, the good and the bad, and I'm going to show you how to fix it. Let's take a look at a couple screenshots here. This is how the URL should look in the index, which is correct. This is how they actually show up in the index. You can see it's our domain / and then a short keyword. Now these URLs were changed from these URLs. Okay, this is what the bad URLs look like. These are the ones that we do not want indexed. You can see here, let's take a look at the first one, whitelabelseoreview.com / whitelabelseo tools. So what I did here, basically this problem occurred because I didn't set up my robots.txt file to disallow any spiders while I was publishing my pages, right? Sort of a rookie mistake, and I'm not ashamed or afraid to admit when I make a mistake, but this has certainly led to an issue here. These URLs that you're looking at right now lead to 404 pages. They don't actually exist on the site because I changed the URL. The reason I did that real quick, if we go back to the correct URLs, you see they're much shorter here, right? They're truncated versions of these URLs. And I did that basically because the URL as a whole sort of was a little keyword stuffed, right? There's just too white label SEO showed up too many times in the URL. Now that's actually something I would like to test in the future. However, this is how we built it this time around. So how am I going to fix this mess that I created in our indexing? Here's what we're going to do to get rid of unwanted URLs. Now first off, if the URL is of an existing page, right, and that page has some page rank on it that you want to save, you're going to 301 redirect that URL to the correct version. Again, this is only in order to pass the page rank onto the correct URL. Now, it's a really easy process to 301 redirect. If you've never done it before, it's just a matter of a plugin on WordPress. A very easy thing to do there. Something you could do with HTML as well, your htaccess file, I believe. However, it's just a very simple thing to do, a 301 redirect. If the URL is incorrect or deleted, like our problem here, you're going to want to use the Google URL removal tool in Google Webmaster Tools. This will tell Google that that URL is absolutely 100% gone forever. Right? You do not want it in the index whatsoever. So only do this in this scenario. Right? If you want that URL to be in there in the future, this is not the route for you. Okay. So that's technically how you do it. Let's just take a quick look at what the removal tool looks like. And bam, there it is. That's actually a screenshot from my Google Webmaster Tool account. It's couldn't be easier. And you can see here they give you a little warning and where to put the removal request. Simple as that. Very easy process. Sort of an easy fix. However, let me state that this mistake, while small, could potentially be an issue down the road, right? So it's something that you want to check, or you want to fix right away, right? And that leads me to the key takeaways for today. Local is changing. We saw a major shift in how those local searches are being presented in Google. If your site isn't optimized, your actual URL, if that's not optimized or ranking for local results, it's definitely time to get to work. Now, because you're PosiRank customers, I imagine many of you do have very well optimized sites and promoted very well, so you may come out ahead of the game here. And in which case, good for you. But that leads me to this point. Staying level-headed in SEO is a lesson we're taught on nearly a weekly basis here. This is no different. This update is absolutely no different. Stay consistent and keep at it. That's a reoccurring theme, like I said, almost on a weekly basis. Consistency is the key here. If it's not the 30-day sandbox, it's the pigeon update. Who knows what's next? There's always going to be something next. All you have to do is stay consistent, stay updated like you are with this video, and stay at it. The website woes, again, not ashamed to admit I made a mistake on that, but it's an excellent teaching opportunity here. You got to check your work often. If I didn't check my work, I wouldn't have realized that we had this URL issue. If Google has a problem with your site, ranking will be nearly impossible. It's not enough to build and hope for the best. Be the SEO that you are. Check your work, do it on a regular basis. Head off any of the potential problems before the ranking problems in the future, right? And that's exactly how we're handling this issue. And trust me, we're handling it to the best, absolute best of our ability. Co-founder Alex, PosiRank co-founder Alex Miller schooled me on what exactly mistakes were that I made and how to fix them, so I know they're being expertly handled. So Remember that the results are generated by consistent high PR link building, concerted anchor text usage, proper on-site optimization, and we'll help you get there. You know, that is a consistent message from us. Um, at this point, I want to go behind the scenes on a VRE campaign with you guys. I'm actually going to be watching with you because part 2 of this week's update is presented by PosiRank co-founder Chris Rempel. He's a special guest presenter this week. We've got some really cool stuff for you guys. He's going to take you behind the scenes of a live VRE campaign. You're going to see actual sites, the nuts and bolts of how they work, and exactly what he's doing to promote them for great results. So make sure to watch part 2 of this video below. It's going to be right below this. Just as soon as this one ends, hit play on the next one. You're not going to want to miss what Chris has in store for you guys. All right, folks, until next week.